I do apologize for my tardiness, but tonight we having some technical difficulties. Don't know what's going on. Tonight was a struggle. Made we made it. And earlier I was a little concerned. See, I don't know about tonight, y'all. I don't know about tonight. Let's see what this connection. Okay, is doing well. So if you didn't know, StreamYard was down earlier and it seems to be working now. So thank you. I didn't even get to join my outfit. Y'all so sweet. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Let me see if I can fix my camera. Okay, there we go. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk ish first. This is all I want to say because my community tab is a hot mess and I talked a little bit about this on my Patreon. If I said I'm obese, class 1, I think I'm allowed to have a belly. Okay. That's all I want to say. I got people in my comment section debating about if my stomach is flat or not. If I'm obese class 1, according to European health charts, I think I'm allowed to have a belly and be proud about it. So I don't know why people are trying to clock me on my stomach. That wasn't the point of the post. But of course, people wanted to make it about if I actually have a flat stomach for my weight. It's I mean, it ain't lipo flat, but it's flat. I mean, like, I don't know what people want me to be like. No, it doesn't hang over my panties. For those that are wanting to know, it was black women and black men. As much as, let me tell you something, as much as black people try to clock other black people about their weight, why are we the most obese community among other races? We are the most overweight. Doesn't matter if you're black, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. We are the most overweight group of people in America. You would think the way they clock you about you would think the way that black people clock each other about their weight that we would all be in shape. You know? Just food for thought. And I'm talking about your grandmama, your auntie. Oh, it looked like you picking up some weight, but they be big as hell. Bigger than you. So I don't get that. I don't get that. That wasn't the point of the post. It wasn't. It was the fact that people want to pretend like they care about your health when they don't. That's what it was about. Okay. I just don't understand that. They be bigger than you, but want to comment about what you doing and ain't doing nothing. Can't even do 10 push-ups. Not one sit-up. Okay, let me get into this video. Let me get into my intro first, and then I'll be back. Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of. Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's video. Okay, so this this man right here that you see on the screen here, he went viral. Thank you, Themis. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. This man went viral because he said that he does not want to date independent women, doesn't want to date women that make more than him. Tragic. So he says that high earning women are less attractive. Who wants you after you achieve these things? So you guys highly requested this video. My DMs were flooded with this request. I mean, at first I'm like, I don't want to talk about money. I don't want to talk about money and men. Money and men, it's just like, oh my gosh, they're easily triggered. So it's a conversation that a lot of them cannot handle. They will throw a tantrum. But let's see what he has to say. Oh, shoot. Hold on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like, hypergamy is real too. So like most like women date across and up, social dominance hierarchies, and men date across and down. So as men rise up, you have nothing but more options. As women rise up, they have very smaller options. And also a lot of the things that get them to those points negate them. The guys that are in the same space,
they don't want that.
They don't want it because they're like, oh, you're combative. And like, you feel like you need to be a boss and all this other stuff. And like,
you telling me what to do.
Right. And I love you. And, I think you might be great, et cetera, for somebody else, but you probably need a Robin.
It's crazy.
You don't need a Batman.
I actually had a woman tell me, she says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh, and shit.
Now, this is my question. Riddle me this. If men don't want gold diggers and they don't want women that are self-sufficient, who do they want? Who do they want? I just need somebody, because I'm telling you this now. I really feel like men want men. I don't think they want us, y'all. And every time they open their mouth and you got other men chiming in, agreeing with each other, it sounds like they want each other. I can't be the only one. I'm like, you don't want a gold digger. You don't want an independent woman. I don't think you're into women, sir. And listen, ain't nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with being gay. But you just need to pick a side and stop trying to make it seem like we women are the problem. Just say you're into men. Just say that. It's definitely all ego. It's all ego. That's all they care about is sex and money. And the only reason why they care about it is because it nurtures their ego. That's it. That's it. That's all. It nurtures their ego. Might as well go ahead and put a bottle in their mouth because that's exactly what they're doing. They want a woman to nurture their ego, baby, and I mean baby their ego. And you know, the thing that sucks nowadays as a woman, because I told y'all this, I feel like the only time you should coddle a man is when he's providing for you. Okay, he's providing for you, the home, and your children. But the only time, right, that he gets this coddleness that he's looking for, or this coddling that he's looking for, is when he's sick. These men want you to coddle them. They want you to coddle them over money and finances. Now, if you fall sick, I can understand that, right? The provider of the home has fallen sick, or his mother died. You know, those are the two exceptions that I have for a man. It's like, okay, let me nurse him back to good health, right? Because he provides for me, he provides for my children, he provides for the household. He has fallen sick. Let me take care of him, right? Or his mom passed, or or transitioned, right? So it's like, let me nurture this man in a coddling way because he needs that right now. These men want you to coddle them over finances in success, and a woman not being a bum. That don't make sense to me. That's why I draw the line. That don't make sense. Okay, you're not sick. Your mom has not transitioned or passed. What are we coddling here? Your manhood? That's what we're doing? Because that's what it sounds like. It doesn't make sense. Yes, he definitely needs some milk because this is ridiculous. You don't want a gold digger, right? Because you're successful, but you don't want an independent woman. That doesn't make sense. Now, if they would have said, I don't want the independent woman, the independent trope woman, right? The one that has the attitude that treats a man less than, I can understand, but he didn't say that. That's not what he said. He doesn't like a high earning woman. And I don't believe in role reversal. I don't. But you still making more than her, you're still making a decent living, and you don't like the fact that she's a high earner. That doesn't even, what are you afraid of? I don't get that. I mean, hold on, wait a minute. This is ridiculous.
And what it is these, and this is the thing. I'm not
Well,
blaming
the
women.
women are gonna hate him for that shit.
No,
They
see, the thing
are
is,
gonna hate him for that.
They should
I can't
love
wait
me
to put this shit out.
They should love me
He
for
said
that
it,
shit.
ladies.
They should love me for this shit because the women, I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here.
Fair.
Like, because these women, they don't want to wait this immediate number, and they see this lifestyle. They don't want to wait to find you to build the lifestyle that they want. So they
Correct.
go out and build it themselves. And when they build it themselves, it's like, yo,
What I need you for?
what?
You guys, this cannot be real life. This cannot be real life, y'all. Okay, let me be real. Okay, the reason why I feel like this cannot be real life is because what do you mean? What do we need you for? Men don't even want to be in their natural role. You know, and it's like, it's more to just providing financial support to a woman. Like, emotional support is valuable to a woman, and also protection is still valuable to a woman. The fact that women are self-sufficient today is, to me, being an adult. I don't get that. But he just, one thing that he did confirm for us just now, and I may have to rewind, is he said that men today are weak. So are we really the problem? Are we really the problem? So why are you taking it out on us? If you're so understanding of our position as women in society, why are you taking it out on us? That doesn't even make sense. Why are you not holding these men accountable? Okay, because that's too much like accountability. One thing they don't like to do is hold other men accountable. So instead, they come at us sideways. That's exactly what he's doing. Since he can't hold other men accountable to get it together, and he just confirmed Cynthia G's statement that they are the weakest link. He just confirmed it. It just came out of his own mouth. I told you guys, the best way to vet a man, allow him to speak. The best thing that ever happened to us was these men started these podcasts, and now they just will not shut up. So let's rewind. He basically said, Black men are the weakest link. That is what he said.
They don't want to wait. You got this social media phenomenon, and they see this lifestyle. They don't want to wait to find you.
That shit
love
there.
No, see, the
They
thing
are
is,
gonna hate him for
they
that.
should
I can't
love
wait
me
to put this shit out.
They should love me
He
for
said
that
it,
shit.
ladies.
They should love me for this shit because the women, I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here.
Fair.
Like, because these women, because the women, I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here.
Fair.
Like, and I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here. And I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here. And I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here. And I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here.
Just so y'all know, I'm using what he said and not my own opinions. Okay? Yes, I'm going to exaggerate tonight. I want you to know I didn't use my own words. That is what he said. That is not what Yoni said. That is what he said. And he just confirmed what Cynthia G be saying. Okay? Because she started the whole saying they are the weakest link. He just confirmed that. I'm gonna play it one more time. I have to play it one more time. I just have to. I have to. This is the best thing that ever happened for us.
And I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here.
Fair.
Like, because these women, they don't want to wait. You got this social media phenomenon, and they see this lifestyle. They don't want to wait to find you to build the lifestyle that they want. So they
Correct.
go out and build it themselves. And when they build it themselves, it's like, yo,
What I need you for?
what?
And see,
That's what he said. That's not what I said. That is what he said. These weak A Negroes. These weak A Negroes. That is what he said. That is what he said. And he just confirmed a lot for us. These weak A Negroes. Okay. So, ladies, is he really not on our side? I mean, is he really not on our side, or is he on our side? I think I don't know. The only thing that I don't like about it seemed like he wants a traditional woman, right? But his mindset about going about it is so narrow. You know, if I'm making a decent amount, but I'm not making more than you, like, who cares? But he said high earners. So it's like, you don't even want a woman making six figures. That's not a lot of money today. It's not a lot of money today. And the reason why I say that is because depending on where you're living, if you're not making that, you barely getting by. If you live in LA or New York, it's like you're barely getting by off of that salary because the cost of living is so much higher in those cities. So yeah, I think he's definitely straddling the line. But I noticed how on Instagram, a lot of women wanted to jump down his throat But when I saw that part, I said, he do need some milk. Don't get me wrong, he needs some milk. But did he lie about that part? I mean, that part right there, did he lie? No, he did not. Nope. Nope, he did not lie. Let's see what else they have to say.
See, it's some of that, and it's also upbringing as well, because it's a generational thing that's happening. Like right now, we're experiencing the generational wrath of what has happened prior. Like is what we're seeing, because in these households, these women are being taught to prioritize their education. They're being taught to prioritize their job and their work.
They've had to.
They're being taught.
I'm throwing that out there that they've had to, especially women that look like us.
Now, wait a minute. Now, why is that? Is it because the men in our community are not dependable? Is it because we can't rely on our own men? Okay. Wait a minute, y'all. Slow down, okay? Because they giving us the map, but you're not paying attention. And this is why when it comes to vetting, you can't get defensive and emotional. You gotta just relax, okay? Like he giving you the tea, he giving you the playbook. So, okay, he just said that Negroes are the weakest link. That is what he said. That is what came out of his mouth. I did not put that in his mouth. That is what he said. Then he said that these women are being taught to put their education first and to be basically independent, right? And he said women that look like us. Why is that? Is it because we can't rely on our men because they are weak A Negroes? That's what you just said. Let's rewind here. Let's rewind here. That's what he just said.
Women are being taught to prioritize their education. They're being taught to prioritize their job and their work.
They've had to.
They're being taught.
I'm throwing that out there that they've had to, especially women that look like us.
Ooh, did he just say that? That's what he just said. I'm just here to point that out. That's what he just said. I'm just here to clarify. That's what he said. I did not say that. That's what he said. That is what he said. So not only are we dealing with weak A Negroes out here, but we've been forced to be independent because our men are weak A Negroes. There are 3 Black men here giving us this information today. 3. That is what they just said.
These women are being taught to prioritize their education. They're being taught to prioritize their job and their work.
They've had to.
They're being taught.
I'm throwing that out there that they've had to, especially women that look like us, primarily because like they are the least protected in the United States.
Which makes sense. And they have, so what has happened is women have fallen out of trust with the masculine.
He preaching. Okay, we have definitely fallen out of trust with the masculine, and and really, I don't even think we know what true healthy masculinity is. We fell out of trust with toxic hyper masculinity. Like, let's make this all the way correct. We fell out of trust with hyper masculinity. I'm talking about the masculinity that's manipulative, controlling, possessive, abusive, whether that's emotionally, financially, and physically. So yeah, we don't trust hyper or toxic masculinity because that is all we know. You know, you just said that these weak A Negroes are the problem or are the reason. And then you just asked, well, why is that? Why don't we trust masculinity? That is why. I don't even think we know what healthy masculinity is. And is that our fault? Is it our fault that we don't know what healthy masculinity is? Majority of us do not. That's why a lot of us fear masculinity in general. Masculinity is amazing. Hyper masculinity, toxic masculinity is not.
And because they have fallen out of trust with the masculine, they have become the fucking masculine.
Yep.
And that is the biggest problem now. And that's why
We are survivors, sir. we are survivors. It's okay. This is my thing. How can you go into saying that Black women are the most unprotected and then say we are masculine? We are survivors. That is what you just said.
Out there that they've had to, especially women that look like us, primarily because like they are the least protected in the United States.
which makes sense. And they have so prioritize their job and their work.
They've had to.
They're being taught.
I'm throwing that out there that they've had to, especially women that look like us, primarily because like they are the least protected in the United States. The least protected in the United States. Especially women that look like us, primarily because like they are the least protected in the United States.
Which
I got a question for the Black men that are tuned in. Are you proud that these men are sitting up here all jolly, commenting about how their women are the least unprotected? Do you think a white man or an Asian man would ever get up on a platform like this and openly admit that their group of women are the most unprotected? And be proud about it? I don't think so. And then blame them for being masculine? This is crazy. This is a joke. This cannot be for real. Who's gonna be feminine and worried? Who's gonna be feminine and worried about being soft and pretty if we're in survival mode, sir? We're the least unprotected. Who's gonna be thinking about painting their nails and wearing pretty dresses? We ain't got time for that. You know what we have time for? We have to fight our own battles every time we leave the house. So who has time? If anything, think about it. If you going out into war, would you put on a pair of heels and a dress, or would you put on a bulletproof vest and some combat boots? So you're forcing your women to put on that bulletproof vest and combat boots. You're not allowing her to choose the heels and the dress. You're not even giving us the space to be able to choose. You're forcing us to wear the bulletproof vest and the combat boots. We can't choose the heels with the sparkles and the cute princess dresses, because we going to war every time we leave the house. Or some of us are going to war every time we come home and we're in the house. So we fighting with somebody there. And then we leave and we fight somebody on our way to work or at work. There's no time for us to truly rest in our femininity. So how is this our fault? I'm trying to come to a I don't get the point of this conversation. I mean, it seems like so far the whole time that they're talking about this, they're just talking about how they're incompetent. They have fallen short as men. That's the only thing that I'm hearing. I'm not hearing how. I don't hear nothing else, y'all. I don't hear nothing else. But let's continue.
Makes sense. And they have, so what has happened is women have fallen out of trust with the masculine. And because they have fallen out of trust with the masculine, they have become the fucking masculine.
Yep.
And that is the biggest problem now. And that's why, you know, a lot of these guys, I mean, this is going to be really controversial, but I just spoke to a brother that was talking about a guy that he knew that's in the league. And this guy that's in the league, he made the statement, and this is, oh man, it kind of hurt me. Yeah. He said, I would never date another black woman again. That's what he said. He said, because these white women, they were groomed to be submissive. They were groomed to be feminine, and they were groomed to be this way to their man. Now, here's the thing. White men actually, you know, experiencing some of this bullshit too, because their women are also becoming very masculine and feminist and falling out of trust with their masculine, but they still have preserved,
not so much.
They still have preserved this level of femininity and submissiveness in some women, where now a lot of the men are targeting those women specifically to have this type of household. Yeah.
Now listen. Okay, what he's saying it can be true for now. But the reckoning has already started. And I don't know if these men are aware, but it's all up and down our timeline. And, when enough of these white women that you guys keep impregnating and abandoning at, what is it, 80 something percent? I think they're going to become more and more masculine as well. So that burden that has been placed on us as Black women for so many decades will now be placed onto them. And so that comfort that you found in those women, because they were more feminine, because the white man raised them, and Black women had to raise ourselves, you will start to see how that is also affecting them and their femininity very soon. I think I'll give it about 5 more years, you guys. I mean, they impregnating these women pretty fast. So I would say about 5 more years, we're going to see a major shift. We're going to see a major shift. I already see them getting way more aggressive. You can always tell when a white woman is dealing with a Black man, the way she talks, her attitude, and how aggressive she is. And a lot of people are like, well, she's acting Black, or is she dating a Black man? And that's the personality that she takes on. It's something that you have to think about. Somebody said in the next 2 years, listen, I'm being nice. I'm being nice. Also, biracial kids are now making TikTok videos about how they don't like their mother. Just, similar situations that Black women have been blamed for years. But the common denominator here is Black men. I mean, I just wonder when we're all going to come to that conclusion, because it's like Black women don't even have to be involved, and we see how these women are reacting to their behavior and the things that they do and how they're being treated. So I would give it about, I would say 2 to 5 years. We'll see a major shift with how masculine these white women are going to become, because the reality is that is what they do. That is what they do. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Give it some more time. I wouldn't even get upset with what he's saying, because you know how they like to talk outdated. They can't even see what's actually going on. There's a major shift happening. They're talking, this part right here is outdated. It doesn't even make sense. Black men are obsessed with having the same control / power proximity to white men that they now are trying to control the space of Black women, our success. Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only thing that, listen, you guys got to understand. Okay, they have no dominance in society when it comes to living under the white man's law. They're not trying to change that. They want to live under the white man's law. If they lose control over us, do you not know what that means for them? Do you not know what that means for them? And it's going to be very dangerous for us. It's going to be very dangerous for us once these men figure out that they can't even control their own women. And the only way you can really control a group of women is being financially stable, like these other races of men. The reason why the white man is in power the way that he is because he understands dominance and power equals money. The same thing with the Asian man, the Hispanic. They all know that the only way that they can carry that dominance over women is by producing. They're not creating their economic value. And so it's kind of easy to just, step over them. And Black women are just going to easily take stride. I'm telling you, over them. It's just going to be like literally stepping over someone that's laying down on the ground. Not even trying, though. That's the problem. So and when I say this, I say majority. It's the majority. And he just confirmed it.
That they want to have. And it sucks because me too. I have this one young lady in my life. She's
So I have it like she's a fucking Pokemon.
She's
I got this one young lady.
Gotta catch them all.
This is a holographic Pokemon because she's one of the most fucking successful people I know in general.
Awesome.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And She actually, so funny situation, a good example. This is my first time ever dealing with a woman of this economic stature before, right?
Okay, talking about like 300K plus.
That's fair to say.
Plus.
Yeah.
Plus. So the thing about it is, when I'm considering, right?
She got more businesses than you, Phil.
Oh, yeah, she will buy your ass.
Hey, she might be in that Porsche club with your ass. You ain't even know it.
She might own that motherfucker. Now here's the deal. I was never intimidated by it. You know, I knew the leverage I had as a young,
Beast.
So I
Put the Slayer thing on.
Slayer.
Young
I knew-
Slayer.
I knew the leverage I had in a relationship. So I was never really intimidated. I was never, coming with any of that weak ass energy. And she actually offered to, go out of the country and,
Ladies, he said he knew the leverage that he had in the relationship. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? He said he knew the leverage that he had in the relationship. Clearly, it wasn't financially. So you know what it was. You know what it was. See, this is the contradiction that a lot of Black men have. You get mad when women, doesn't matter what race, uses their body to leverage, right? But then you want to leverage with your penis. Contradicting much? Oh, you didn't think I was going to catch that. Yeah, I caught it. The leverage was his penis. A lot of them feel like that's how they leverage. Definitely caught that. But they love bashing women. They love bashing women for doing the same thing. That is what he said. So that was his leverage with this woman, was he was D'ing her down. Reading between the lines, he was D'ing her down. And so he felt like because of that, he had some type of control over her, which is called digmatizing her. And he was able to leverage. That's how he was able to leverage the relationship. Even though he couldn't match her financially, that was how he was able to leverage. I hope you caught that. And this is the alpha energy that they be talking about. Okay. I hope you caught that.
I knew the leverage I had in a relationship. So I was never really intimidated. I was never, coming with any of that weak ass energy. And she actually offered to, go out of the country and, kind of cover the costs and just take me out of the country for my birthday.
Ah, very nice. I've had one of those.
We go out of the country.
I knew the leverage that I had in the relationship, and so I didn't come with that weak energy, and so I allowed her to take me on a trip for my birthday. Does that not sound like a girl getting flued out? Does that not sound like does that not sound like a girl getting flued out? He got flued out. That's why I be telling you, these men be jealous. They be jealous. You didn't think I was going to catch that? Oh, I caught it. I said, so you were flued out, and the leverage that you had over this woman that made more than you was your penis. Got it. Wearing a shirt that says alpha energy. Interesting. This is what we dealing with today, y'all. I hope y'all aware of what's going on. That's very feminine, right? Very, very feminine. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Slayer. We go out of the country, and there's this moment where I'm handling emails. I'm on the phone, and I could tell, her energy just gets off, and her energy just kind of she kind of storms off, goes to the bathroom, whatever the case is. And one thing, fellas, you got to do when you sense that energy's off, address that shit, right? Which is what I did. I addressed it,
all undesirable behaviors,
and I asked, what's the situation? What's going on with you? And she was like, the first thing she said, listen, I went ahead and I spent money to be on this trip and to bring you out here. And I just feel like you're just on your phone and you're not paying attention.
Ooh.
So now here's the thing.
Ooh.
Now, as soon as that happened, I just wanted to take out my debit card and just smack the shit out of her with it. Right? Because first of all, the thing about it is I didn't need any of that shit, right? I didn't need it.
It's a gift.
But see, what it reminded me of was when, when your
Okay, you didn't need it, but you went on the trip. Now listen, to the ladies that have been flued out, okay? Were you expected to do certain things on that trip? Not saying sex, but don't you think it is rude to go on a trip and be on your phone the whole time? I think it is rude. And I don't care if it's reversed. Say a woman was doing this. It's rude. It's very rude. You expect for women to be flued out and have the expectation of sex. Don't expect for a woman to fly you out and not expect your full attention and quality time. That's just common sense. And I think it's just a matter of it's just a matter of it's courtesy. That's the least you can do. It's very rude. It was very rude for him to be on his phone. Now, to me, this is where he went wrong. If he knew he was going to work on the trip, I feel like he should have told her that beforehand, before, out of respect for her, so that she could decide if she wanted to deal with him being on his phone, the trip, the whole trip. I mean, I think a man would be upset if roles are reversed in this situation. He's in the feminine role, she's in the masculine role. So, as a woman, I'm cautious of that. Like, I know if I know that a man is investing his time and his resources into me, I'm going to give him my full attention. So, if you didn't want to be in this feminine role, why did you take the trip to begin with? That doesn't even make sense. Why would you? Was it because you wanted to get flued out? So I felt like he went wrong there by not allowing her to choose up front whether or not she wanted to deal with him and still take him on this trip, knowing that he was going to work. Because there's nothing wrong with working. You got to do what you got to do. But sir, you get flued out. You should know your position. You should know your role. Just like y'all tell us as women, you shouldn't be taking no trips. If you getting flued out, you should know what's expected. Don't be thinking some man just trying to cuddle with you or play with you. So he knew what was up before he went, right? Just like you guys tell us that. Okay. So the hypocrisy throughout this entire story that he's telling is comedy to me. Okay, let's continue.
Your mom walk in the house and there's a bunch of lights on, and your mom is like, "Turn the fucking lights off around here. You don't pay no fucking bills."
Yep.
Right? It's like she pulled that trump card, like she pulled her dick out and put it on the table on me, and that shit just was very demasculating to me at that moment. And I remember thinking in my mind, I would never fucking do this again. Like, I literally, at that moment, I made my mind up and I said, I will never in my life put myself in this position.
He decided to be a man, y'all. It took one time, him getting flued out, and he decided that he's going to be a man and that he's never going to be put in that position ever again. Now, I will say this. Do I feel like she handled the situation correctly? No, she did not. She didn't. She didn't. But I think she was upset. To me, they were both wrong. She was wrong about how she handled the situation. Because I'm sorry, but when you spreading your legs for a man, I don't care if you're making more money than him. You don't son him. That doesn't make sense to me. You don't son a man that you spreading your legs to. That's not your son. That is a man. Okay. If you don't know what sonning a man is, it's treating him like that is your son. Okay. She should have never put herself in that position. That's number one. I would never pay for a man to take a trip with me. That's giving desperate energy, and I'm not doing that. So she sunned him, and he threw a tantrum, and so here we are today. Here we are today. I feel like if you spreading your legs for a man and you can disrespect him, that says more about you than it does about him, in my opinion. I could never. I'm sorry. I could never do that. So I can't. That means I don't look at you as a man. I look at you less than that, and that don't turn me on. I'm sorry. It don't turn me on. I'm sorry. It just don't. It don't turn me on. So if I can just talk to you any type of way, if I can disrespect you like the way that she did, I would never be having sex with you. So I feel like they're both wrong. Like I said, the way she handled it was wrong, but he was wrong too because he should have communicated. And really, it's really about them two communicating. I don't think it's really about how much money she's making. He just wants to use that as a crutch. But he was all good when he was getting that trip for free, right? It was all good. Everything was cool. And then he got the trip for free. And that situation happened because he didn't communicate and she didn't take it well. And so here we are today. He wants to tell this story and put all the blame on her. But honestly, both of them were wrong, in my opinion. That's how I feel about the conversation. But let's not sit up here and try to pretend like he wasn't getting flued out. He was cool with being flued out. He basically wants to give women a hard time, but he was in the place of a woman right now as far as being flued out. And then he didn't know what to expect. You didn't think she would want majority of quality time with you. You're on vacation. Like, who does that? So, right. This is his version of the story. That's true. But we can only go off of his version. And so my version, me reviewing his version of the story, they are both wrong. I'm sorry. I would never spread my legs to a man and then talk to him like that. That's crazy to me. I'm spreading my legs to someone that I don't respect. I don't look to in high regards. That's weird to me. I can't do it. That's not attractive.
To have a woman tell me that or have that leverage over me. And I understood at that moment why men, especially of means, choose not to ever put themselves in that position, because that completely changes even the conversation.
Yeah.
Even when shit like that arises.
It just brings up problems that you shouldn't even have to deal with.
It just brings it's unnecessary fucking problems in the relationship that exists.
Yeah.
That's why when I'm asking you, I'm asking what kind of, he gave this politically fucking correct.
It really just depends on whether or not you would have a like.
All that, he gave that, that politically correct shit.
Phil said he still struggling some of that old pussy. So, he don't want to reveal too much secrets.
Right. Which I get, but man, that's a real thing that we're gonna be talking about. I like you brought up hypergamy. I want to do a whole fucking episode on hypergamy.
I would agree.
Because that's a real thing we need to talk about.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of the things, as far as understanding that balance.
You guys, I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. Somebody said the issue isn't her sunning him. The issue is her entertaining him. If you have to sun a man, I'm gonna repeat this, if you have to sun a man or you're in a position to sun a man, that says a lot about you as a woman. Why are you entertaining a man that you can sun? That's not your son. That should be your man. I don't get that. So that means you see them as an equal. You wouldn't see your son as an equal because your son is a child. That's what I'm getting at. So no, it's more than just entertaining. Why would you want to deal with a man that you can sun? That is so unattractive to me. But that's me. That's me. It's like you wouldn't see a child as an equal when you're an adult. You can talk down to him. What movie was it where a woman was speaking down to her husband so nasty? And it was a movie with Tyler Perry. And I think it played is it Sanaya Lathan? I'm not sure. Gosh, I don't remember the name of that movie, but A Family That Prays. She talks so nasty to her husband. If I can talk to my husband like that, I don't want to be married to you. That's crazy to me. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Somebody said something. Right. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. She said, Yoni, a lot of moms do this. A lot of moms use their sons as a filler for what the husband won't do emotionally. Right. And so then when they get a man, they treat the man like a son. Is it A Fall from Grace? It's one of Tyler Perry's movie. But no, it wasn't a fall from grace. It wasn't a fall from grace. I think it's the family that prays. The way she talked to her husband was so disgusting. It was nasty. And it's like, why are you sleeping with someone you don't respect? That just, mm-mm. I don't think it was family reunion. I think it's the family that prays. The way she treated her husband was disgusting to me. So I think successful women, you got to understand this, because I talked about this on my Instagram and I forgot to mention this. But as a successful woman, you got to understand that the way men look at finances is the way that you look at weight. The way men look at finances is the way that you look at beauty, your makeup, your hair, your eyebrows, your weight. If you look good in certain outfits and things like that, that is the same way men look at finances. So if you take a hit at his finances, you got to understand that's like somebody talking ish about you gaining weight, or your makeup being trash, your hair being trash, your weave being trash, or the outfit that you have on is tacky. You have to understand that beauty wires your ego and finances wire a man's ego. So if you taking jabs at his ego, he's not going to respond well to that. I just have to make that very clear. He's not going to respond well to that, and you're going to be single, because he would be single from you if he was over here taking jabs at your makeup, at your hair, at your weight, at your outfit. It's like, we got to understand too, like, I'm all for this conversation and, speaking the truth and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you got to understand how men are wired, and they're wired within their finances. Why? Because society tells them to be a man, you have to be financially stable. You as a man, you have to provide for your family. If you're not doing that, a lot of people in society don't respect you as a man. They will sun you. So you got to understand that you cannot sit up here. And this is why broke men are just not respected. Get your money up. A lot of women don't even look in the direction of a broke man. And this is why when broke men get money, they go after the women that they couldn't get before. So you got to understand, like, if you out here taking hits at a man's ego by talking about his finances and things like that, it is so similar to him talking about your hair, your makeup, and your weight. So if you want him to respect you, you got to respect him in return. Like, it's not a one-way street. And also, I'm gonna get into it later. But yeah, I just have to put that out here. Like, respect goes both ways. It's not one-sided. But I wouldn't be, as a woman, I wouldn't sleep with no man that I can son. That ain't it. That's not it. I'm sorry.
Because not that you can't afford to take yourself, you decide to do this as a treat. Because when you go out on a trip, or like you do whatever, like I've definitely gone on trips, taking women out on trips, etc. I mean, I'm also in travel hacking, so I can do it for remarkably less than what other people can in a lot of cases. But it's still like, like I'm investing this money, I'm spending this money, depending on the individual, the situation, whatever the situation. But I don't have to point that out or do whatever, because like if you carry yourself like that, it just shows me what I need to know, and that's it. I mean, that's the same way that I feel about like dinner and other stuff. Like, I'm gonna go to eat there because I want to eat there, but I'm gonna learn what I need to learn while I'm there, because I'm gonna be very intentional with the questions that I ask and like conversations that I have. So I see how you move, how you think, etc. And I'm just move accordingly. Like, I would have spent that money anyways. So
let me tell you, Phil, you dropping some game, man. I knew you was gonna drop some game, but I don't know if I knew you was tapped in though.
That's real, man. And let me tell you, we actually met our quota here on this episode, and this was phenomenal, man.
But we had an hour.
Yo, we are at an hour, man.
We gotta extend this fucking episode.
Crazy.
Way too quick.
It's really crazy.
Way too quick.
It's really crazy. But here's what I want to do though, because I'm sure after this episode, man. First of all, I want people to know this man is a resource. He's a resource of knowledge. He's a resource of education. You got a lot of good resources also that you can potentially offer the people. I want you to go ahead and pub and let them know what you got to offer so they can be able to have it.
No, you guys, they did give us game. They gave us game. Okay. They said that Black men are the weakest link. That's what they said. They said that they don't blame women for being independent or masculine because we were forced to. We are the most unprotected group of women in America. Basically, they just confirmed everything that we've been saying. It's almost like they took our talking points. But yeah, so the reason why these men date out is because they feel like white women are more submissive and they're more feminine. But that's going to change soon because they keep creating single mothers with them as well. And so you know how hard that life is. Okay, a lot of us either are single mothers, were raised by a single mother, or we came somewhere down our bloodline, we came from a single mother. You know what I find interesting about this conversation is I came up in a 2-parent household. I had a mom, I had a father, and I was raised to be independent because my dad did not feel like the men in the community was reliable. And so because he watched his mom struggle as a single mother, he prepared me for that lifestyle because he felt like the men in our community were not reliable. It's just, it is what it is. So it doesn't even matter if you come up in a 2-parent household, because our community is damaged and our community is broken and men don't want to take accountability and ownership. I mean, of course they're going to keep raising single mothers. Like, wouldn't that be the smart thing to do, seeing how a lot of us are in survival mode every day, including the men? I mean, it only makes sense to me. The reason why they like to go run off to white women is because they like to live a fantasy or a fairy tale for a short period of time until reality hits and she starts expecting more of him, the same that we as Black women expect. So then they try to run back. Tyrese. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue.
No, for sure. Follow me on TikTok, Finance with Phil. Follow me on IG, Philip, PHILLIP.KARAYA. I have an online community where you can go and ask questions about whatever it is, whether it's Turo stuff, Airbnb, real estate development, raising capital, nonprofit stuff, professor stuff, school stuff. Yeah, I got a lot of different stuff I could talk about.
I was checking out your digital product. I know you just dropped that on personal finance.
Oh yeah,
that one looks cool. First off, we need I'm not even gonna pub that shit because we need affiliate link.
No, honestly, it will be by the time you watch this video.
It's hot,
we're gonna have that course will be in the description. So go ahead and go into the bottom of this video in the description. We're gonna have a link to Philip's course.
It's a dope ass course too, by the way. So
we got that on there. Then we also dropped the NFT as well. So this will be timestamped for a little bit later. So
yo, you the first guest who's dropped the fucking NFT. That's lit.
So it's about utility. So one of the things, because one of the things I do is I work with the tech company that I sit on the board for and have some ownership into as well. I was looking at some of the different stuff in the space, finish in 3 months. Because if you're intentional about like what you want and you know what you want,
and you know,
because right, because they'd be all right. This is income, expenses, like.
I think that's it, you guys. I want to say this before I end this live. People always ask me, why do you think successful women, beautiful women, in shape women are single today? And like I said on my Instagram, I feel like the reason why beautiful, successful, in shape Black women are single is because a lot of men see us as intimidating. I mean, think about it. If you're out here dating and you sit down on a date and you start listing off all of your accomplishments and things like that, a man is going to instantly start comparing himself to what you have accomplished, and then he's going to measure whether or not he has accomplished more than you, or if he's on the same level as you, and then that's going to determine whether or not he wants to deal with you or not. A lot of times we see men go after women that offer way less, like just their body, but they will sit up here and talk about how, oh, the only thing she has to offer is her body. But those are the same women that they go for first, or when they become successful, because it makes them feel more like a man because they are way more successful than her. It's kind of different. Like, a man doesn't feel more than a man or greater than a man if his woman is either, you know, on his level or above his level. My opinion, I don't want to be more successful than my man, because as you can see, this is what comes with it. You can joke, you can say, you can walk on eggshells, and the slightest thing will trigger his ego, and you're the villain. Just like that woman in the story was the biggest villain in his story. So I don't want to date a man that makes less than me. But I'm called a gold digger for that. I don't believe in the gold digger term. I think it's for broke men and men that have a poverty or scarcity mindset. So it's like I don't even believe in the gold digger term. Partially because I have my own money. So, but you find that to be intimidating as well. So at this point, my aim is, I told you, dealing with a broke man, their personalities are trash. They're hard to deal with. They have an attitude, and I just don't want to deal with a broke man. That's just me. Also, what else did I want to say? Oh, I want to say this. Whenever you go on a date with a man, I don't care if you are a successful Black woman that is in shape or if you are a Black woman that is a single mother. It's, for us as Black women that are in shape, beautiful, successful, whatever the case may be, and you wonder why we're single the same way that single moms are single, is because kids are seen the same way that our jobs or our careers are seen. So basically how I explained it on my Instagram was, successful women, when you start listing off all of your accomplishments or where you work, men are intimidated by that alone, especially if you don't play it down a little bit. And it's similar to a single mom. Like a lot of single moms, when you guys date, you guys are wondering like, okay, when should I mention that I have a child? When should I mention that, I do have this child that I had from a previous relationship? And you're hesitant to be upfront about it because as soon as you do, energy changes, men switch up on you. And it's very similar to a single Black woman that's successful, that's in shape, right? That she's basically, her career is seen the same way as your child. And so I always tell women, I wouldn't talk about my job. Even if you are super successful, I would never talk about my job. And I always tell women that are single mothers, that conversation, talking about that you have a child, it's not an easy conversation. And so I always tell women, hold off on those conversations. Like, don't be all upfront about it, because you have to allow men to get to know your personality. You have to allow them to want to invest in you first. If you go in for the kill and you tell them how successful you are, you're really cutting your chances. If you go in for the kill and you tell them that you have a child before they actually get to know you, you're cutting your chances down by a long shot. And I'm not saying that you should hide your children. I'm not saying that you should hide how successful you are, but allow these men to get to know you first, because your career doesn't make you who you are. Your children don't make you who you are. You have a personality. Allow them to get to know your personality. And who knows, things may not even, them getting to know your personality may not lead to anything. And that's okay too. But give yourself a real chance. If you are going in for the kill, letting men know that this is what you do on the job, and that, I'm not saying hide your kids. I'm saying allow men to get to know you first, so then they can have a reason to want to invest not only in you, but your children as well, if that's the case, or your child. Right, kids are being touched. I would definitely, if I had a child, I would hold off on that. I would hold off on that for a while. I would go on dates. I would allow a man to get to know me first, get to know my personality first, before he starts making assumptions about me based off of where I work and how much money I have. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm not telling you hide your kids or be ashamed of your kids, but you have a life outside of being a mother. You have a life outside of that. You have a life outside of taking care of your kids. You deserve to go out on the town and be a woman and not be mommy. So for that reason, allow men to get to know you, not mommy. Allow that man to get to know you, the woman, and then you can introduce them to your children if things hit off. But it's gonna be hard. That's just something I would consider. Yeah, I mean, they got to go through a vetting process and everything. I would just hold off on that. Allow you to be seen first before he sees you and mommy at the same time. And to the career women out here, allow him to know the you after you clock out, after your 9 to 5 job. Allow him to know you at a happy hour or on the weekends, because who you are on your career or who you are on at your job is not who you are after hours, or on the weekends. You're someone totally different. So let him see that first before you show him everything else. On that note, that's all I have, you guys. Please give the video a thumbs up. Yeah. I would not rush to introduce my kids because a lot of these men are not going to stick around. That's number one. Things get serious, things move seriously, then I would. And I'm telling you that now. You got to give a man a reason to invest in you. And it starts with your personality. He's not going to invest in you because you're a mom. He's going to invest in you because you have you make him laugh. You have a good personality. We have a good time together. The same thing with the career woman. If you are going to get invested in because of your personality, who you are as a woman, how you take care of yourself and things like that. So it's just something to think about. I'm not saying hide your kids. I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of your kids. I'm saying like, roll it out, because he may not even make it to that point where you need to roll it out. If you see how he's becoming more invested in you and things are getting serious, then you should tell him that. And just be honest with him. That's nothing. Just be honest with him and say, the reason why I wait until later to let men know that I have kids is because I don't know if you're going to stick around. So there's no need in me bringing up that conversation. If this changes things, then this changes things. I would never lie about it. It's like, don't hide your kids, hide your wife. I'm done. Yes, there's a man on here telling you we invest in what we care about. So if he care about you, he gonna care about that child. On that note, I'm logging out, you guys. Please give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you Thursday for sure, because I have an interview with Samantha Cooker here on YouTube about how the church girls dating life sucks. Now listen, y'all chose the title based off of the comments, so she's going to be giving her commentary. Well, I'm going to be interviewing her regarding that topic. So if you're interested, that will be Thursday. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.